Hello and welcome once again to India Today's Mood of the Nation poll, brought to you in collaboration with C-Voter, the first mega mood check since the 2024 general elections. We've looked at various factors on day one, but there is one factor, Rahul, that your namesake is making the headlines for. Rahul Kanwal is going to tell us why Rahul Gandhi deserves a full hour this time on Mood of the Nation.
There's a lot of ground we'll cover on this day 2 of the India Today Mood of the Nation poll, and this to my mind is actually more significant than what we did yesterday, because remember, just as far as data is concerned, converting votes into seats, as we've seen very recently with the post-poll studies, is complex. But when you do a mood check on whose graph is going up, whose graph is going down, relative popularity, that gives you a very good directional sense of where things stand. So allow me to introduce you to our panel joining us for this broadcast. I'll start with Yashwant Deshmukh, lead cephalogist at C-Voter. To our left is Raj Chingappa, editorial director publishing at India Today magazine. Sheila Bhatt is back with us. Thank you very much, Sheila. To our right, my colleague Preeti Chowdhury. We've got Rajat Sethi with us. Outside the studio, we've got Sanjay Jha, who I'm sure will be delighted with the first set of numbers that come up. Let us also take you through the methodology used by C-Voter for the Mood of the Nation poll done for India Today. Remember, this is a telephonic poll, so it's not face-to-face in person. This is a telephonic poll. This is conducted between the 15th of July and the 10th of August. 40,591 respondents were interviewed for this poll alone. Added to this was the tracker that C-Voter does on a continuing basis, which gave it an additional sample of 95,872. So a fairly robust sample of 1,36,463 respondents went into the answers that you're about to see. What we're going to do in the first part, as Rajdeep mentioned, is look at how Rahul Gandhi is being perceived at this time by the Indian electorate.
Rahul Gandhi is someone, as we've seen, whose career has gone up and down. It's yo-yoed over 20 years in politics. This year, significantly, is 20 years since Rahul Gandhi made his electoral debut, Lok Sabha 2004. And since then, there have been occasions which have eventually turned out to be false dawns, the rise of Rahul, the reinvention of Rahul. But this time, what the Mood of the Nation poll seems to suggest, Rahul, I'm told, is a slight resurgence of Rahul Gandhi.
Well,
or emergence of Rahul Gandhi.
More than a slight resurgence, it's a bounce back. The question is, how big is that bounce back? And we'll try and delve into it. And can it be a false start? Like many batsmen who play very flashily at the beginning of the innings and flatter only to deceive, can he continue? Does he have what's required to win the long run? So we'll get into all of that. So here it is. Raj Chingappa's headline, Rahul emerges, Modi holds steady. So this is the first set of data you need to look at. Between the last Mood of the Nation, which we did at the beginning of this year, and now, Rahul Gandhi's popularity has gone up by 11%. On the question of who is best suited to lead the India alliance, what's happened at the same time is that the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has crashed from 17 to 7. Arvind Kejriwal, who again was at 17, has crashed to 6. Earlier, in the previous polls, the gap between Rahul Gandhi and other potential candidates who could have led the India alliance was just 4%. Now there is a gap of day and night between Rahul Gandhi, who's consolidating what this data suggests, the anti-Modi, the anti-BJP vote now coming together around Rahul Gandhi's personality, and the others really falling low down. What's happened though is Akhilesh, because of his performance in Uttar Pradesh, has bounced from 4 to 8, and that places him now in second position above Mamata and Kejriwal. Let's come to the second data set that we have to put out for you, and this has to do with how this graph has moved over time. So if you see, Rahul Gandhi was in his early 20s. From there, he's jumped up, whereas the other candidates were in their 15s, 17s. From there, they have crashed. So Mamata Banerjee, and this has nothing to do with just what's happened in Kolkata off late, but it's been building up despite her commendable performance in the Lok Sabha elections. As far as national perception is concerned, has come down a full 10 notches. Kejriwal, who's been in jail for a long time now, is down even more. So Mamata Banerjee and Kejriwal, their fortunes actually coming down. How do people perceive Rahul Gandhi's performance as leader of the opposition? Remember, this is a job he's just warmed up to. Earlier, many in the BJP thought that he may not have the tenacity, the stamina, the hunger to continue. He's stuck to his guns and persevered so far, and that's getting a strong response from the respondents in the Mood of the Nation opinion poll. 24% saying he's outstanding, 27% saying he's good. Add those two, more than 50% saying he's done well. The number of people who say he's average is 19%. Those who think he's poor is 24%. But the big number is you add up good and outstanding, 51% saying as leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi has done well. And this, Rajdeep, really brings out how you can't write anybody off in politics. You can get out for a duck one day, next day you can come and score a smashing century, and you just have to ultimately say, boss, this is what the numbers are saying.
You've been writing off your namesake. So
on
this one, I'm going to troll you.
Been itching to troll
the truth of the matter is...
No, but Rajdeep, one second. The fact is, we are commentators.
Sure.
You do commentary on what you're saying. If the batsman is not showing up to play, if he keeps going off on holidays, is non-serious, not attending his own meeting, you'll say he's doing a bad job. If he's doing a good job and the data say he's doing a good job, you say he's done a good job. Why does this have anything to do with us personally?
I think we have to look at Rahul Gandhi, I guess, based on these numbers, as pre-2022 and post-2022. What you're seeing is post-2022, once he went on the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
The point. Yes,
I think that was an important moment where Rahul Gandhi's visibility increased. People actually saw him as someone who was ready to do the marathon run in a way. Everybody during the Yatra said, yeah, Rahul will never complete the Yatra. He will go off somewhere. He doesn't have the tenacity. I think what he's shown is tenacity. And I think this is a reward for that, because the anti-Modi vote is a substantial vote in this country. They were looking for someone around whom that vote can crystallize in a way. And Rahul Gandhi has emerged as that single figure who consistently has taken on the BJP and Mr. Modi. Therefore, when Hawa badalti hai, he becomes the beneficiary of that Hawa. We don't know how things will change a year, 2 years down the line. Much will depend on state assembly elections, whether he can sustain the momentum. But Rahul Gandhi has emerged. I think the India Today magazine cover is right. I just hope that it isn't like previous covers of India Today on Rahul Gandhi, which have often said, Rahul emerges, Rahul is the contender. Is this another false dawn?
We don't really know that, Rachingappa, because he may have emerged for the moment. Can he stay the course, or will he disintegrate? At this moment, nobody really knows the answer to that.
Firstly, let's of course answer Rajdeep's sort of thing, which we get trolled regularly, that we keep reinventing.
Yeah, you keep reinventing him every few years.
Gandhi, but remember, as you said, it's over a period of 20 years, and we might have done 5 covers where he really did shoot up and come down wherever that happened. But let's take off where Rajdeep said. He may have shown tenacity, but more importantly, I think he began to reinvent himself in a different way, ideologically. Yeah. And the ideological positioning of Rahul Gandhi was in direct contrast to the aggressive Hinduism that the BJP propounded. That was the first. The second thing, so his whole business of Nafrat ka Bazaar, Mohabbat ka Dukan, you know, the whole thing that the moderate Hindu doesn't really want to take on the Muslim to the point of being aggressive and, you know, subjugate the Muslim. The moderate Hindu might be against appeasement of a minority, but doesn't really want to get into a conflict with the minority. So he sensed that and felt that once the Ram Temple issue and others were being sorted out, we needed to get together again. You couldn't push that to a certain level. The second thing I think he brought out was that as he went, and I went on some of the Yatra parts with him, he began to evolve a philosophy of justice, Nyaya as he called it. And that was the second part of it, which meant that he began to have, he was not just a rebel, but a rebel with plenty of causes for the poor, for the farmer, you know, for the SC, the ST. And then he played on that whole business of you could unite the minorities behind you and begin in some ways to divide the majority. So he began to break the monolithic Hindu vote that the BJP was trying to do, even though the BJP very smartly consolidated the caste groups and tried to put them together.
No, I agree with what you say with one caveat. If you ask people close to Rahul Gandhi, they say he hasn't changed, you have changed. The fact is, I've always been talking Nyaya. I spoke about Nyaya in 2019, no one listened to me. You see, the difference is that the narrative changes, the country changes, the mood changes. And as the mood changes, the people are looking for someone who will offer a counterpoint to Mr. Modi. But social justice, OBCs, not just minorities, OBC, you know, this caste census. He's tried to reinvent himself.
Rajdeep, the reinvention is not on... In our eyes, Rajdeep, the reinvention is not in terms of narratives. I guess the reinvention is in terms of hitting the street and coming out as a sincere person who is not going to run away again. You know, his numbers start picking up after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. And by the way, in the political stock exchange, we did a complete tracker of Bharat Jodo Yatra as and when he was hitting the ground. And that's where his fortunes started swinging up. I guess that the big thing here to understand in the Rahul Gandhi numbers saga is that election results per se are not responsible for his numbers going up. If he will hit the ground, if he will sustain, if he will tell the people, I am now a serious person, I am going to be there. He may say, I was always serious, but he was not perceived as serious. He was not perceived as the person who is going to remain there, continue the job what he is trying to do. A lot of that blame has to go with the IT cell of the BJP as well, the way they portrayed him.
No, but they're still trying the same thing. It's not working.
But it's not. It's
so
not
I don't
work
think it's
because
only perception. It's also about
that entire path.
But it's also about actual actions. If you keep leaving on long holidays, you're not
of course
available,
that will have a
not
problem with
contactable.
you. Yeah.
What gets
But
around? If
now
you
look
are,
look at the Akhilesh number. I mean, I guess that apart from Rahul Gandhi, for me the next big thing is Akhilesh Yadav has today emerged as the second biggest opposition name in this country. Sure. It's not a small thing.
But that's because he comes from a state which is, after all, a state which has rewarded him as the biggest ally.
I don't agree. Just give me a second. I don't
after
agree.
the Congress.
No, I will disagree with you. Because Arvind Kejriwal comes from a state which only has 7 Lok Sabha seats, but for almost 36 months, he became almost at par with Rahul Gandhi in the national narrative.
No, but but then Yashwant Deshmukh, that came at the back of winning Punjab. You won Punjab. That came at the back of showing audacity in Gujarat.
This came on the back of winning Uttar Pradesh.
Sure, so therefore election results matter.
Exactly.
You see, my point is election, this is all in the back of an election where the Congress has done better than expected.
Exactly.
Therefore Rahul Gandhi also, his numbers rise. Akhilesh has done better than expected, his numbers rise. Mamta Banerjee at the end of the day is localized, she's restricted to Bengal.
But Mamta's numbers were better, but
she's not been able to expand.
But Mamta's number in Lok Sabha, Mamta's number were exceptional in Lok Sabha.
So she is effectively, and you will see her numbers in Bengal are high, but her numbers outside Bengal are declining. She's seen as a Bengal leader.
Exactly.
No, similarly, Kejriwal, all said and done, after Punjab and Delhi, has not been able to build up in a way.
So Rahul is in a central state because of
the
that.
question is, will the likes of Kejriwal and others now accept that Rahul Gandhi is their leader?
You know, it's going to be difficult for an Aam Aadmi Party and an Arvind Kejriwal to accept. I think it will be relatively easier for a Mamta Banerjee to accept because she still holds her ground in the state of West Bengal. Now, what is with
I'm
Arvind
not so sure. You saw how they had a public spat over the Kolkata
they might have had a public
rape and
spat,
murder.
but look at the numbers.
Sure.
Rajdeep, look at the numbers in terms of just West Bengal and even Lok Sabha. Now, Mamta Banerjee is holding her ground in West Bengal. The one who needs to worry, and I think worry and introspect and maybe reinvent, is Arvind Kejriwal. Because in Punjab right now, look at the Lok Sabha election results. The Congress has done better than the Aam Aadmi Party, right? And this is coming in where the Aam Aadmi Party was in power. Then you look at what happened in Gujarat. The Aam Aadmi Party had that 6% gain at the cost of Congress. In 6 months, you're going into an election in the national capital, Delhi. In Haryana, now you're at a phase where the Aam Aadmi Party would be more than willing to build an alliance with the Congress in Haryana because they are going all in at 90.
So Sanjay Jha, when you look at these numbers, are you concerned about whether Rahul Gandhi can sustain this momentum, or do you think the tide has turned and now the graph only goes one way? Because frankly, no one knows. So it's really about hope and belief and whether you're cynical about the man or positive about the man.
Rahul, a very, very good question. You know, politics, like sports, has got a lot to do with momentum. And when the momentum comes in your favor, even the stuff that you do that may be incongruous suddenly begins to look like a rock star performance. And when things are against you, even your best efforts can be diluted by the people or by your critics. Now, here is the truth that politics is not static, Rahul. We are seeing it in the US. Kamala Harris, not even considered to be a candidate, could be the next president of the United States, which is why we keep saying in politics, and we should never try and ignore that a week is a long time in politics. You know, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties and the granular details because we debate it every day. But if you ask me broadly, I agree with you that a brand is largely made by what you do, but it is also influenced because it is juxtaposed against your nearest competitor brand. And I think Rahul's rise has also got to do with what I believe is the damage that Mr. Modi's brand is actually, in my opinion, experienced. I don't know what the numbers are showing on your
No, so
program.
let me show those
I can't
numbers.
really see it
Because
on my
so
screen.
far what we've seen is Rahul versus the opposition leadership. Let's now compare him with his actual opposition, because his competition, remember, is not Mamata Banerjee or Kejriwal or even Akhilesh Yadav. His competition is the man on your screen, Prime Minister Modi. So where does he stand versus his real competitor? And that's where Rahul Gandhi and Team Congress gets a reality check. Prime Minister Modi is at 49, Rahul Gandhi at 22. Even if Rahul doubles from 22 to 44, he's still 5 short of Modi. But, and there is an important but, the important but is that Rahul Gandhi is up 11% from the last MOTN tracker. That's doubling. It's a 100% increase in less than half a year. On the other side, Prime Minister Modi has come down from 59 to from 55 to 49. That's down 6. So remember, politics is also about momentum, and the momentum at this moment seems to be with this man. But when there is momentum, momentum can be like this, momentum can be like this, momentum can after a while plateau out. So we don't know what kind of momentum, but at this moment, Prime Minister Modi's graph has gone down 6%, Rahul's graph is up 100% from the last poll. And Rajat Sethi, that's really the question. How much momentum is there on the Rahul bandwagon? And if there is a dip, is it just a marginal dip and the gap still remains massive? Or does the gap start coming down in the next few trackers? That's what Indian politics rides on at the moment.
So Rahul, the last 6 months and the tectonic shifts that are happening in the last 6 months, one thing is clear is that the emergence of India Alliance has diminished the regional players to a considerable extent, giving Rahul sort of a head start. Rahul Gandhi to get a head start in terms of having an Betaj Badshaw of the India Alliance. Now the problem is reaching from this 22, breaking that threshold of 30-35% and going head to head with Prime Minister Modi. That is where the real trouble for Rahul Gandhi comes, because ultimately you can be the undisputed leader of the India Alliance, but that doesn't cut the ice that much, because what he needs to do from here onwards is start looking much more of an authentic leader. Authenticity comes with tangible proofs and evidences that what you espouse as a policy measure you can actually deliver. You just have two big states with you, Telangana and Karnataka. In these two states, what does your core politics of caste census, your core politics of khatakhat, you want to do money distribution, how does that hold on to these two states? And bunch of other things, social justice, fighting for the poor and all of those things, Mohabbat ki dukaan, is it working in these two states or not?
Sheila, but how is the BJP looking at
this needs
the
to be translated into
Rahul
action.
Gandhi? Are they alarmed by it in your view? Do you think of it as not having enough momentum to be able to actually rock the Modi bandwagon, because the gap is still massive?
Right. I think BJP is normally a confident party, so they don't. I think they are not taking him seriously even now. But because their actions doesn't show that. But my own understanding of both situation from both sides is that Rahul's rise is inevitable. What Yashwant's figures show is majorly because he accepted, very surprisingly for a Congress people and for BJP also, the position of leader of opposition. In India, when DSP becomes SP also, uska bhav बढ़ जाता है. So leader of opposition, people think, oh, the biggest. And then he sits on the front seat in parliament. That has given you this.
No, so it
Let me contrast it. You see, Rahul, you should contrast this with August 2019. In August 2019, Mood of the Nation showed Mr. Modi's popularity, approval rating was 71%.
Let me show that.
50% of the respondents said Congress is in terminal decline. So contrast 2019 on the back of the BJP getting this big victory with what has happened 5 years later. That is the difference.
I'll have the data
Sheila
on a
is absolutely
timeline.
right. You see, 2019, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary
But I said
becomes
that.
leader of Lok Sabha. You could not even have a leader of opposition. You didn't have the numbers. Now Rahul Gandhi every day is up there. NEET issue, Agniveer issue. He's the one doing all the talking. Naturally, people are going to look at him as their leader.
Rahul, he had traction way before he became leader of opposition. I completely disagree with that.
No, but it goes
Rahul
on.
Gandhi had
It goes
traction
on.
way before.
I kind of
all
agree with you.
through the election, you could be in the
I
heartland
think
of
the
Uttar
bottom
Pradesh
line
and
is
people
not
would have picked
TV,
Rahul
bottom
Gandhi
line is
over
not
anyone as the top
Preeti,
contender.
you're right, but I'm just contrasting. Okay, look at January. January is your last Mood of the Nation. Look at Rahul Gandhi's increase. What has changed between now and January? One, an election where the Congress, which was written off, has done better. And number two, Rahul Gandhi has become the leader of the opposition.
He's just been consistent, Rajdeep. We have seen him go back. For the first time, he's won Rai Bareli. He's gone back 5 times already.
Sure, but
he has just been very consistent.
Yeah. No,
and
so
it's come
also
from
what
the fact
happens...
that he's tasted success.
No,
because all his ideas of the caste census have found traction. Ugly Wheel have found traction. You and I both know that he was wary of fighting Rai Bareli, but he went in and fought it. And after that, he's tasted blood now.
My limited point is that if Mallikarjun Kharge was the leader of the opposition, I don't think you would have seen the kind of numbers that you're seeing. Rahul Gandhi becoming leader of the opposition naturally becomes
to it.
a magnet, attracts people towards it.
I mean, to add to all this, I still maintain that thing that his fortune swung only and only because of Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Yes.
If he wouldn't have gone on Bharat Jodo Yatra, these numbers would not have been.
No, 1 minute. Bharat Jodo Yatra happens in 22. There's a bump up. But it is not as dramatic as it is now.
So can I show that?
No,
one second. If you go on a time graph and actually look at a few polls, the picture becomes quite apparent because frankly, Rahul Gandhi, the politician, was dead and gone. According to the Mood of the Nation tracker, just look at how low his popularity had come. In August 2020, he was at 8%. August 2022 at 9%. So from there, just imagine, from 8, he's almost triple that. He's actually gone up virtually 300% from the low base of August 2022. From August 20, Prime Minister Modi, on the other hand, was 66% after the Lok Sabha elections of 2019, and from there he's now come down to 49%. So the fact that this is a rise, Sheila Bhatt, is not in question. The fact also is that there is a bit of a dip over here. The question is, will this dip get reversed, hold steady? Will it go further? That again we don't know at this moment. That's why all these assembly elections become so important.
Rahul, we are reporting politics for donkey's years. I am saying that Rahul Gandhi today is like a Murad of Gully Boy. अपना time आएगा, उसका time आ गया है.
आ गया है.
हाँ, आ गया है. And it has to come because it's not a big surprise because we knew he is quite similar, not in his strategy, but his time, like Modi of 2010, 11, 12, 13. So that trajectory he is on. But just a minute, there is a contrast to that. BJP's actions and inactions, what they have done good and bad, Rahul is reflecting that also.
Sure.
What BJP did not do and BJP did. Like if you raid people so randomly and so much first of his kind raid Raj comes, then other side is
but the truth is that he's as per your graph. As per the graph. Sure, but as per the graph, ma'am, just a minute. As per the graph, Rahul Gandhi, August 22, 2 years ago, is 9%. Rahul Gandhi embarks on Bharat Jodo Yatra September. The next poll shows him, I think, at 16%, which is in January. You then are at 16%. Then he comes down a bit to 14% next year. Remember, in 2023, he comes down to 14%. He had a up and down roller coaster year in 2023. He stepped out of parliament. He took advantage of it. I think the BJP made the mistake also, thinking that the moment we put all the focus on Rahul Gandhi, that's the way in which we will make this election Modi versus Rahul. By virtually forcing him out of parliament, by effectively constantly attacking him, Pappu, there comes a time when people say enough is enough.
Do you agree with that, Rajat Sethi, that some of this overdoing the agency attacks, overdoing the attacks on his personality seems to have created some sympathy for the man?
See, I always believe that the Indian public is the ultimate justice provider. They look at the pendulum, the way it is swinging. And if the pendulum swings too much to the injustice side, they would want to course correct it. And this happens repeatedly. It happens so clearly and starkly in state elections. We've seen how Chandrababu Naidu rose up only and only because he was arrested at the wrong time. Similarly, maybe in Jharkhand, we'll see what Hemant Soren and what happens to that. Similarly, in Rahul Gandhi, when the court gave a pronouncement and disqualified him as a sitting member of Lok Sabha, unnecessary. You get on to the wrong side of the justice equilibrium and you give the momentum to the other party and causes to latch on.
How do people on the ground, when you meet them during the election, see Rahul Gandhi? Is he seen still by anyone as a Pappu? Does the BJP's lampooning of him still work on the ground or not?
Rajdeep, You heard Pappu in 2019. In 2024, I have to say, and I think I told you that till I didn't hear Pappu at all. But it's not that. I think what you're missing in these numbers, and I think that's a big boost for Rahul Gandhi, and maybe Yashwant Deshmukh can come in, that percentage of his rise has come mostly from the youth. Because if you speak with them, you will still find
but it
anyone
hasn't.
over...
That's not factually correct.
I'm telling you what I
but the
feel,
data
right?
doesn't show that.
No, she's saying anecdotally.
In terms of anecdotal evidence, if you speak with them, anyone over the age group of 50-55 still will go for Prime Minister Modi. You will see that happening. When you speak to the youth of this country, when I spoke with them, most of them related to Rahul Gandhi because at least in their mind, and most of their mind, that Mohabbat ki dukaan is open. They don't want the polarizing agenda. They are very clear. They associate that with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Caste census is very big in places like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh with the youth. So his language, his communication is filtering better to the youth than to somebody
But that's
who's over
not what the
age of
data
50,
shows.
55.
Interestingly,
I will just elaborate that a bit because, on the face of it, it looks like because his counter branding of Pappu has been done as the young leader, youth leader of India. All right. Which shows to some extent among the opposition opposition voting base that, larger chunk of that youth is for Rahul Gandhi. Okay. But when we look at the larger all India numbers, oddly enough, the numbers which have swung in favor of Rahul Gandhi are actually coming from the more mature section of the society. Now, that actually when we were doing this analysis, we surprised as well that, this is what conventional wisdom was telling us, that this number is changing because of the youth, not because of the 35 to 45, 45 to 55 and 55 plus age groups, but it's not like that. Reason could be, as Raj in the very first statement said, there is a significant anti-BJP, anti-Modi chunk in this country, all right? And that chunk was very disappointed with the performance of opposition in the last 10 years, particularly with the performance of Rahul Gandhi. See, who criticized Rahul Gandhi the most forget about the trolls and IT army and everything. But if you talk about the serious opposition supporters, they were disappointed that Rahul Gandhi was not serious enough. Talk to anybody.
Here's what's happened, basically.
Yeah. But once he got serious, they were the most excited one that, now he
but you see, let's not complicate it anyway. Congress, as per your poll, is getting 25%. Yeah. Rahul Gandhi is getting 22%. Please look at it. The Congress voter who may have been looking for options a couple of years ago, in your polls you'd occasionally find Sachin Pilot's name. I even seen 2019 there was talk, should Priyanka Gandhi Vadra enter and become the leader? All of that's gone. Rahul Gandhi
can I show that?
has become Neta number one of the Congress.
Let's show that. Once again, let's just show that point on the screen.
This exercise, by the time Rahul
this is the question about, who's best suited to lead the party. And remember, at a time there was ambivalence around whether Rahul Gandhi was serious and some of the other candidates seemed to be doing well as Rahul was floundering and didn't seem serious. Now, though, there is a very high level of clarity. At one point in time, Sachin Pilot had 14% of the respondents wooing him. In January 2023, it went up to 17%. Now, though, Rahul Gandhi has gone up to 49%. His graph, which was at 23%, is now more than double that at 49%. And the likes of Sachin Pilot, no disrespect, he was never really ever himself in the fray or wanting to project, but he was just propped up by the numbers. That's now come down from 14 to 7. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was at 9, she's at 6. Again, never really projected herself. Rahul Gandhi is being projected, and that is basically meaning that the opposition anti-Modi, anti-BJP vote has basically decided that Rahul Gandhi is the pole they want to converge around. Sanjay Jha, what that means though is that he has to be able to win in a BJP versus Congress fight. He needs to pull the middle of the road voters away from the BJP and bring them into the Congress. What he's done so far is that the anti-BJP, anti-Modi opposition vote, which was fragmented, is now converging around Rahul Gandhi. That's what's happened according to this data. He still needs to cross the next hurdle, which is of bringing middle-of-the-road, non-Hindutva BJP voters back into the Congress's fold.
That will be very difficult to do.
Sanjay Jha.
Rahul, in my opinion, the underlying change that I am seeing across the country, and not just Mumbai and metropolitan cities, is the fact that an average Indian is always somebody who wants a fair play, not just for himself or herself, but for everybody around them. Things like social justice, economic equality, a very harmonious society. These are not some esoteric terms that we use only in our TV debates. This is what the common individual wants. And I think what Rahul Gandhi is manifesting is the return of what I would call as graceful, dignified and decent politics back into the Indian mainstream. Like it or not, Mr. Modi won elections. He continues to be popular amongst large sections of India. I'm not going to deny that. But he's now being seen increasingly as a person who's also probably a votary of the politics of fear, divisiveness and hate. And I don't think any society can sustain that kind of polarized, aggressive, foul and crude conversation for too long. And I think India is reacting against that. I therefore am going to put my neck on the line and take a call and tell you that Mr. Modi's brand is on an irreversible decline. The question is, at what pace will it decline? Can the Congress hasten it after winning some assembly elections? I don't know. But here is an opportunity.
But Mr. Jha, that's a contentious view, which Raj and Gopal, there's a point in what Rahul just said here. Our Rahul said just now that Mr. Rahul Gandhi attracts today the core anti-Modi voters. They're staunchly with him. The question is, how do you attract the floating voter? In India, you win elections by winning incremental votes. That's what Narendra Modi successfully did. He brought in people who traditionally didn't vote for the BJP into the BJP fold. 1 in every 3 voters in 2019, 1 in every 4 in 2024. How does Rahul Gandhi do that? Is he also, in your view, a bit of a polarizing figure? Either you're with Rahul or you're against Rahul. He's also not necessarily an all-inclusive figure, not yet.
Well, let's look at it. There are a couple of questions that need to be answered. One is, he's clearly won the battle when it comes to the coalition partners.
Kaun banega challenger, he's number one.
He's won there. Now he has to move to really the center stage in terms of taking on the BJP. Currently the Congress, if you go by Yashwant Deshmukh's poll, C-voter, and ours is 25%, and you have BJP at about 38%. He has to start now proving that the Congress can defeat the BJP when they have a direct contest with each other. Right now, a lot of this is being showed up from the various coalition partners, and that's one big thing that he needs to demonstrate, and that will be his true challenge. The second, the advantage that he has, apart from the fact that the Modi brand is sort of, as he was saying yesterday, reaching a plateau. It hasn't, the decline we don't know about, we've seen a bit of it. Now, what happens here is it's combined with not just Rahul Gandhi. There is a factor that is built, which is that there is huge discontent in terms of the fact that unemployment is a major issue, price rise is a major issue. He begins to be seen as an alternative where he starts talking about these issues much more than others do. The third factor I think that's coming into play is that we were talking of the relative youth. There is a coalition of young building, I'd call it. Okay, and this is a coalition of young opposition partners that he has. If you look in terms of Bihar, you have Tejasvi sitting there, Akhilesh at that side. If you like to talk of Bengal, you have Abhishek on the rise. If you look at Tamil Nadu, there's Udyanidhi happening on the horizon. Even our Andhra Pradesh, Telangana Chief Minister is quite young in that sense. So there is a feeling that in some senses the BJP's leaders have begun to age in a different way, and he represents a young brigade or youthful brigade that can transform. So we were talking. But
how does he get, Raj?
You were talking momentum.
You make an excellent point, but how does he get the BJP voter? I was listening today to the commentary on Kamala Harris and her speech at the Democratic Convention. What did she do? She knows that if she has to defeat Donald Trump, she can't win it only with the Democratic core. She has to win floating voters. What is it in all of this that Rahul Gandhi is doing?
I'll come to that final point in terms of the fact that if the BJP's emphasis had been really pushing the Hindutva projects on there. But as we know, religion does not feed your stomach. You have to have a great economy and there is a huge aspirational class that says, fine, we have been able to counter the appeasement of the Muslim community. We have built the Ram temple, that pressure cooker release has happened. Now let's get down to the business.
Rajit, can I give you 2 examples?
Just a second. I will just say just one thing, Preeti. What Preeti mentioned about the young voters and what Raj is telling, actually I see a synergy there. You know what? He just mentioned across India, all the opposition leaders were the young set of the leadership coming across. Now, Rahul can be indirect beneficiary of that in the coming years. What you sensed on the ground, an Akhilesh supporter saying Rahul Gandhi is better.
I'll give you two
Supporter saying Rahul Gandhi
I'll
is
just give you
better.
two examples on how he can cut through to that BJP vote bank. Number one, when he speaks of the caste census, constantly hammering on caste, it cuts through the religion divide. Number two, when he speaks of Samvidhan, it cuts through the La Bharati divide. I have gone through places where the Dalits who were voting for the Bharatiya Janata Party at the back of the whole La Bharati push, today are looking at the constitution. So at least in this election, he's been able to communicate and get a small percentage of the BJP voter on these two
But I
accounts.
can again only go by numbers. Look at the I'll bring you into CSDS numbers. In all groups, barring Dalits, there hasn't been a major shift from the BJP to the Congress. The Hindu vote bank is still very much with the BJP. The fact, therefore, is Rahul Gandhi, the one group where the Samvidhan worked, the one group where the Samvidhan narrative worked strongly,
And it cut the
and it's,
La Bharati.
as per the CSDS post-poll survey, a 5% swing of Dalits moved away from BJP to Congress. So Rahul Gandhi is trying to emerge as a leader of the disadvantaged, of the disenfranchised, of those who feel they are getting left out. And that is a very useful politics to play.
And there's
But-
unemployment for the youth.
Yes,
So you're working it on
but you are
different
still facing
different
38.
grounds.
Just a minute. But you are still facing 37%, 38% of the BJP. They are not going down. Your headline is Modi hold steady. The question is, when will you reverse that? How do you reverse that?
See, this is the problem.
Pradeep.
The marginal gains that you can get with the politics of Samvidhan Bachao and all, you can keep hoodwinking the people into saying that, yes, there is a legitimate threat to the constitution. You can only go so much. The point that Sheila ji made earlier is, this is the 2011, 12, 13 Modi in Rahul Gandhi. This is what inka time aa gaya. The problem in that imagination is that in order to do that, Prime Minister Modi was able to bring out the chunks of Congress supporters, core Congress supporters into the fold of BJP. Those were the new BJP votes that BJP had never gotten
that's
in the
not
past.
happening yet.
This is not happening yet.
No,
And the
I
reason
will
is,
just add to it.
because he doesn't have a
Prime
credible example to
Minister,
put forth and show the
after-
contrast.
Okay,
That contrast is missing.
Okay. LK Advani, when he lost in 2009, after that, Prime Minister Modi in Gandhinagar started planning his stake for a power in Delhi. I'm saying at that time he gave around 13 December or 14 in the January, he gave a memorable
College.
speech in Sri Ram College where he said glass half full theory. That was bought by people. He got a very big chunk of supporters. Rahul Gandhi exactly before his claim for Delhi power is giving us a political theory of everything glass half empty. So Rahul Gandhi and Modi at this point of time eventually in a short term will have to shift their politics.
Okay.
Rahul,
No,
can
we
I
have
give
a
another analogy?
few more
Rahul,
questions.
there's one more analogy if I can give you.
Half empty.
Like the Prime Minister, Modi had their entire middle class. He gave them a sense of pride when he came. When you go on the ground, you can sense that Rahul Gandhi is attempting to do the same with the bottom of the barrel in our social system by giving them samajik
But
nyay.
those
Yeah,
are
but
talks.
again,
Those
but again,
are talks.
ma'am, I
Where
have
is
to
the
go by the
credible
numbers.
evidence?
The numbers.
I'm saying it's an attempt.
No, I can only go. The numbers again show.
But the
And
Dalits
while
have pulled the
researching on a
Gandhi
book,
wants BJP
the poor
voters.
are still with Modi. Please appreciate
Okay.
it. You know, this
Rajdeep, the
you see,
Dalit 5% swing has come from where?
Dalit,
That
yes,
is the poor.
Ma'am, but there is a large Labharti
That will
one.
come when
there are
They
some-
have not, I think they need to, when you say, when Sheila Bhatt says, my difference with Sheila Bhatt is when Sheila Bhatt says, Rahul ka time aa gaya hai. I would press the pause button.
But-
I would be a little hesitant to say, time aa
Rahul
gaya
ka
hai.
time for
No, sir.
opposition
The song is
leadership
अपना
aa
time
gaya.
आएगा. So it's like waiting time आएगा. वो कब आएगा नहीं पता.
अपना time aa sakta hai. Look, let's
That
be
as an
fair.
opposition leader, his time has
No, I'll tell you where you can
His
be.
time has come as a leader
Rahul,
of
your friend
opposition
Rahul
and I am
Gandhi
saying-
today is still 54.
Rajdeep-
He's only 54.
Only?
No, he's only 54. No, 1 minute. One congressman told me, please tell me where was Narendra Modi when he was 54. Narendra Modi when he was 54 was in 2004. He was 54. He was Gujarat Chief Minister for the first time. Rahul Gandhi is already leader of the opposition at the age of 54. Leader of the opposition puts you in a prime position that when the brand starts declining, the brand in power starts declining, you become the beneficiary. Rahul Gandhi, all said and done, is becoming a beneficiary of that. But I would hesitate, and this is the mistake congressmen make, that Rahul Gandhi aa gaya, he's arrived. You see the mistake that India today has also made in previous covers.
I would like to
Every
say,
time Rahul Gandhi rises, you all say Rahul Gandhi aa gaya. This is the mistake you all make. India is still in the BJP age. Get that right. 37% of the vote still puts India in the age of the BJP. You're going to have to change 8% to change that. That's not going to happen overnight. Time aa sakta hai, no doubt. But time aaya nahi hai.
As an opposition leader, definitely aaya hai. What all BJP made mistakes is an inevitable, unstoppable result of it. And I'm just saying that if what Rajdeep is asking is a very good question. How will he get floating waters? I am saying only when. Because I don't see BJP as a weak party. Even I don't see Congress as weak as BJP is portraying. But I am saying BJP is not a weak party today. It has a fantastic asset.
I think the problem of the BJP...
But just a minute.
No, it could get weak. Nothing is permanent.
Now in
Madam, BJP can get weak.
Modi
BJP
does not fare well as in the Ministry of Finance.
No, I'll
Okay,
give you
can
an
we
example
take some more
of
data?
now, just
One second, sir,
simple.
data reh jayega.
One simple-
Arey, time khatam ho jayega.
One very important thing, which people need to remember.
Yes.
1 in 3 voters voted for BJP, said they voted for BJP because of Modi in 2019.
Now it's 1 in 4.
Now it's 1 in 4. Take Mr. Modi out of the equation, right? Everybody, eventually, there's no sense of permanence. Once he's out, then Rahul Gandhi is the natural beneficiary of that.
But you don't know when he's out, sir. He's here for the moment.
No, 10 years. No, I'm saying Modi, Rahul Gandhi is 54. Mr. Modi today will be 75 in a few weeks from now. 10 years from now, Mr. Modi will be 85. Rahul Gandhi will be still 64. Where was Mr. Modi at 64? He was becoming Prime Minister of the country. There Sheila Dikshit is right.
Sheila Bhatt.
Sheila Bhatt is right. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. I'm not young like Rahul Gandhi. So the fact is that Rahul Gandhi's opportunity, Rahul, can come in the next 10 years. Why do we look at politics only in the next 3 months? Mood of the nation demands us to see what happens.
Of course,
But 10 years from now,
20
Rahul
years
Gandhi
down
will
the
still
line,
be
we will be doing
64.
this thing.
Rahul
You know,
Gandhi's
interesting-
challenge is, can I stay the course?
Interestingly-
Can I stay the course?
You know,
if I stay the course, I have possibilities.
If what Rajdeep is saying is correct, I'm reminded of a conversation we had with Rahul Gandhi in 2012 when Rajdeep, you were there. He said, I have a 25-30-year horizon on reviving the Congress party. At that time, I thought
Good
it's
for him.
frankly absurd. How can you have a 25-30-year horizon when the BJP is fighting every battle here and now? If that is the timeline that comes true, then that could be right. I had a 25-30-year vision of reviving the party. So my data dikha do, aise to nahi hoga. Okay, fine. Here it is on your screen now. And I just want to say, you know, these are part of the questions. So the question now compares the politics of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra with that of Rahul Gandhi. They work very closely as a tag team, so there's a bit of inherent unfairness in this question. But for what it is worth, I'll show you the responses. Who do you think is a better politician, Rahul or Priyanka? 55% saying Rahul Gandhi, 17% saying Priyanka Gandhi. But to be fair to Priyanka, she's never sought to be projected as the leader of the Congress party and has never been projected either. Therefore, it's quite natural that more people will think that Rahul Gandhi is more suited than Priyanka Gandhi. What's your opinion on Priyanka Gandhi's entry into politics? What impact will this have? Here, let's take you through the respondents in the Mood of the Nation poll and what they had to say. 41% saying Priyanka Gandhi's entry will boost the Congress, 7% saying it will create 2 power centers, 10% saying it will do both, 22% saying it will have no impact, 41%. Right now, Rajdeep, there's only Rahul Gandhi who's firing with a single engine. You put another Priyanka Gandhi engine into it. Do you think that makes things trickier for the BJP in Parliament and elsewhere?
Look, I think Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has some of the qualities that perhaps Rahul Gandhi doesn't have. You know, we've looked at the strengths of Rahul Gandhi, his manner in which he's sort of been able to espouse this social justice card, for example. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has a strong emotional quotient. She's a better communicator in Hindi. She's a woman. Look, let us not...
She has better HR skills.
I again come to Kamala Harris today. I was looking at... Look, for America, there's a tectonic moment taking place there. I could see young women, and every Indian election we've seen in the last decade, women make a huge difference. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has that factor. She has other weaknesses, perhaps, that Rahul Gandhi doesn't have. Rahul Gandhi, I think, is seen far more ideological.
What are her weaknesses?
No, I don't think Priyanka Gandhi has been able to articulate her political identity.
But she's not had the chance.
Agreed, but I'm saying at the moment, we are discussing it at the moment. At the moment, for Congress persons, they're still not sure what is Priyanka Gandhi's political identity because she's never really been in the 365 days, 24/7. Like it or not, Rahul Gandhi's been there for the last few years. He's done that hard grind. He's being rewarded for that in this poll as well. I think Priyanka Gandhi remains to me a bit of an enigma. I want to see Priyanka Gandhi. Will she be actually pushed forward by the Congress? Look at what the Congress did. When there were 2 seats, Rai Bareli and Wayanad, they chose Priyanka Gandhi to go to Wayanad, which means effectively you're saying Rahul Gandhi is the person who's going to handle Uttar Pradesh, which is your pathway to Delhi.
No, but
so Priyanka Gandhi is a supporting actor at best at the moment.
But the reality also is many thought that there could be dual pass centers. I think we've seen enough of the Rahul-Priyanka dynamic now to know that they work together as a tag team and that no matter who says what and Chabi Lagaos from where, Priyanka also sees Rahul as her leader. She's not trying to trip him over or get ahead of him. She's quite comfortable in her skin playing second fiddle.
I think the problem is with the two of them. The typical problem in the Congress is the people around them. You see, the Congress is a party where there will be people who will, the Congress's biggest problem has been the inability at times to present a cohesive sort of front.
One important set of data which I want to say on Priyanka Gandhi's thing. Number one, the same question a year back Priyanka was at par with Rahul Gandhi. 2 years back Priyanka was over Rahul Gandhi 2 years back, right? So obviously shifts have taken place within that dynamics as well. But I am one thing very clear. Even when Congress was scoring only about 2% vote during the UP Assembly election, I had mentioned that Priyanka probably is not going to get the electoral benefit that she is trying to get, but it's the groundwork she is doing which they will be benefited at some point of time in UP as well. Priyanka did her part of real hard work in UP Assembly elections.
True.
Ladki hu lad sakti ho campaign. People might make fun of that. But the fact remains that at that point of time in UP was going under process of bipolarization and Akhilesh Yadav got benefited out of it. But whatever the UP numbers in this Lok Sabha elections have happened, it's not because of Rahul Gandhi. The credit to that goes to Priyanka.
But you sent her to Wayanad.
But
you've not made her your face in Rai Bareli.
Sanjay Jha, what impact do you think Priyanka Gandhi Vadra coming into parliament could potentially have on the BJP versus Congress dynamic?
Rahul, I think it will be a very positive impact, not just for the Congress, I think for the opposition at large. And let me tell you this very frankly, having known both of them rather well for a long time, that all this conversation about differences between them is a lot of speculative nonsense. They get along very well. I think a lot of people forget that as a family, they have gone through horrific tragedies, including, of course, losing their father. And at a very vulnerable and a susceptible age, they have got a very close bond. And while, obviously, they're adults, they both may have independent views on politics and how the Congress can come back. Anyone who believes that they will ever fall out, I think they're just wasting their time. I do believe they complement each other. I think Rajdeep probably got that very right because I've written that in my book. Priyanka is very emotionally intelligent, very empathetic, and someone who makes an outreach. Rahul is strong in terms of logic, data, and an ability to kind of read the cold, hard facts the way they ought to be. And I'll give you one personal example. I remember when I had COVID in early 2020, Priyanka sent me 3 or 4 messages to say, get well, take care, blah, blah, blah. Rahul did not. It doesn't mean that Rahul doesn't care, but I think Priyanka is more expressive and more articulate and a better communicator. So I think both of them working in tandem.
Than you are with Rahul. That's fine, Sanjay, I get it.
But that's...
Okay, so we need to take a break now. Yes.
Go ahead, Preeti.
When you look at her on ground, she has the potential of being a mass leader because the kind of connect that she has with people, I've followed her quite a bit this election, number one. Number two, she's a better politician. Rahul is ideological. I'll give you 2 examples. How was the deal brokered with the Samajwadi Party? It was Priyanka Gandhi who ultimately picked up the phone because Rahul Gandhi had dug in his heels. That's at least what my sources tell me. That final sharing of seats with the Samajwadi Party happened because Priyanka Gandhi did it. How was peace brokered with Sachin Pilot? Rahul Gandhi had practically said doors are shut, he doesn't need to come back. It was Priyanka Gandhi who picked up the phone and said that there was, Sachin Pilot should be retained. It was Priyanka Gandhi who did that. Okay. So in all, a better politician...
Just a quick, I agree with Preeti that she will make a difference. But
and having her in Parliament, Raj.
She's more of a force multiplier than a game changer.
Yeah.
That continues to be Rahul Gandhi. The point, I think, going beyond Priyanka Gandhi, is that Rahul Gandhi at the moment the momentum is with him. But he has to come out with greater clarity, moving from what we call the charity state or the welfare state into really what does he mean by redistributive justice when it comes to the economic thing. I think he spooked the middle class, the way he went about, and there's that slip that Sam Pitroda did about the inheritance tax. The point is, when he talks of this, the economy itself, where does he see the growth beyond, handing out these doles to everybody?
So for that, he needs to
will be
give us an
tested.
interview, Rachingappa. Let's push for that. Anyway,
No, the
we'll
very
take a quick
fact-
break
the
right
very
now.
fact,
We need to take a break.
The very fact that we are having a 1 hour discussion on Rahul Gandhi in Mood of the Nation suggests that the mood has changed. Certainly in the India Today studios.
But I tell
I
you-
don't know whether it's changed. Look, we've
Let
never
me-
discussed,
let me add
we've
one
never
nuance.
discussed, I think, Rahul Gandhi in such detail in a Mood of the Nation as we have in August
But he's never had such
2024.
good data.
So हवा बदल गई है,
Rahul-
स्टूडियो में बदल गई है, बाहर में
नहीं,
बदल
नहीं,
गई
नहीं,
है.
नहीं, एक मिनट. I disagree. Rajdeep, I disagree because in the political stock exchange, we discussed Rahul Gandhi when he was
But Rahul-
carrying out all the yatras. We did a tracker. You see, you will get discussed when you get serious.
But Rahul-
If you will
Rahul-
see,
Nobody
you will
discusses
doing
a
on the
batsman
ground,
who
you can
gets
discuss.
out on a
Simple.
duck or doesn't pad up and show up to bat. You
Rahul,
only
we
discuss
need
a batsman who's scoring runs. I mean, that's reality,
we
that's
need
cricket,
a-
that's commentary.